So this is going to be a quick overview of the EONON GA6151F for the Mazda 3. This car is a 2007 Mazda 3. I think it's a 2004-2009 unit. Turn the ignition on, it should boot up. So I've got a not very well hidden 4G. Every time the car is powered on, it starts broadcasting Wi-Fi, which then picks up. Whenever it turns on, it goes to Bluetooth automatically, probably because that's the last thing I was using. My phone connects to that. It's quite quick to boot up, really. It's a bit slow at first. It came with a really slow firmware, and I contacted EONON. They sent me a new firmware and it's much faster. It's essentially just a big tablet in your dash. You've got the Play Store where you can download literally any app you want, like a normal Android device. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it does the job. You've got your normal functionality that you had in the original head unit. Some of the functionality you have to use on your steering wheel, like if you want to change the time, you have to hold the mode button in, you'll hear a beep, and then you can change the time on the original display here. Things I like to use it for are obviously maps and streaming music. The original head unit in the Mazda doesn't come with it and like any aux input, or it just has a CD player or radio. Yeah, so default, you've got radio, you've got Bluetooth. I'm not streaming anything at the moment. I have installed Spotify, so it's quite handy to have Spotify on here because you can start playing on your phone and then it has the devices available. You can switch between the phone and the car. You can control the tracks from either one, which is pretty handy. It works quite well when you're playing music. It will come up in the notification tray. You've got all sorts of amp settings, so you can configure how you want the car to sound, how you want your music to sound. DVR, I've got a dash cam which is mounted up there. It's not bad. I've also got a reverse cam on order, so when you put the car into reverse it automatically comes up, which is quite nice. Haven't really found any great apps. The DVR one, you need to go into it and start recording. I'd prefer something where it was automatic. Every time you started the car it would record. I've got an SD card in there. What else does it do? It plays DVDs. When you press Navi, you can set any app, for example Google Maps, Waze, whatever mapping app you want, and it's pretty quick to load up. You do get a GPS module, which I've got mounted just there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's always connected via GPS, so you always get a pretty good signal, as long as you don't mount it somewhere ridiculous. I've got YouTube on here, but I don't really want to use that when I'm driving. It's more for passengers, just like the DVD player. Comes with a few built-in apps, most of which I'm not going to use. Calendar, calculator, I don't really need that. But at the end of the day, it's running Android, so you can put whatever you want on here. You can change tracks with this when you're not tuning the radio. The buttons on the steering wheel still work. obviously volume control, band to change radio band. There's an IR receiver there because it does come with a remote control, although I'm not sure why. This USB is powered, and I have been able to power the 4G dongle using that USB port. It also supports 3G dongles, so if you want to plug in a 3G dongle and actually get the signal up here, you can do that. This is your basic launcher, but you can change the launcher and put something like Nova Launcher on here to make it a bit more exciting. I did have Nova Launcher on here, but I've since reset it because of the firmware update. You can change brightness, obviously. If you press speed, it sort of force closes everything in the background to make it a bit more faster. It's got 1 GB of RAM in it. There's a quad-core CPU in here as well. So it's not underpowered, but it can be a bit slow. But overall, it's quite good. The built-in microphone there, so you can give it voice commands. GPS is just an SD card slot. Comes with, I think, 16 gigs of internal memory. And then you can expand it obviously up there. I'll just give you a demonstration of what it's like to put the car into reverse. Also, when you turn the engine on, it loses power, and then it comes back, and then that happens, which is quite annoying, because if you've just turned the car on the ignition and you're using it for a bit and then you want to turn the engine on, it sort of restarts where you're at. That's the Bluetooth, that's my phone that's connected. I'll put it into reverse. There's no camera connected right now, but if there was, it would obviously come up, which is quite handy. I didn't have to wire anything extra up. Just the standard wiring enables that to work, which is quite nice. It's not a very hard install overall. It just sort of comes out. You have to take this piece off of the original head unit and screw it onto this head unit, which is quite easy. All the wires fit in place. It comes with all the wires you're going to need. But yeah, if you're looking for a new head unit for your Mazda 3, I'd recommend it, as long as you get the firmware update. I think I'll post a link to that in the description.